Hello everyone, I'm back after a technical glitch. I hope all of you will be able to hear me now. So I'll just wait for some more people to join so I can ask if I'm actually audible or not. Okay, all right. Some of you guys are already here. So if you are able to hear me, please drop a thumbs up. Drop a thumbs up if you're able. If I'm audible, that would be great. Alright, so hello everyone, my name is Apurwa Shrivastav. You're watching The Logical Indian, and well, today the conversation that I want to have is about a challenge that has been trending on all over social media, especially on Instagram, and the challenge is called Black and White Selfie Challenge, where women are posting their black and white images with the hashtag challenge accepted. So a lot of people are saying that, well, this could be just another Instagram fad, while there's another set of people who sort of speculate that well, this is coming all the way from Turkey, where laws that support women's freedom and liberation are being diluted, which is exactly the reason why this challenge has started. There's been a lot of femicide in back in Turkey. So women who are killed in the name of honor, in the name of conserving the tradition. The pictures of those women are put out on newspapers and magazines, and those pictures are black and white. And looking at those images, um, the other women in Turkey have been really taken aback and saddened by all these pictures, and because of that they themselves started to post their own black and white images to sort of say that they may be next. So this is another speculation, and there's, well, the third narrative, which is again coming from US, where Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is said to have been at the receiving end of a sexist remark from one of her colleagues, one of her male colleagues. And then there is another narrative from a Brazilian journalist, and her name is Ana Paulo Pedro. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So that is another narrative. But whatever it is, it has the whole challenge has received over 50 million posts already, and it has in a way become a movement. And it's very critical to talk about it. I think that things that are more critical needs more conversation, which is why today is all about that. So I request all of you to stay with me while I call our guest for the day, who is Diksha Dwivedi. Diksha is an author and also the founder of Akkar Bakkar, which is a digital media platform for women who can come and share their most vulnerable stories. And she believes that these vulnerable stories in a way empower society. So let's have a conversation about the whole challenge, about what the whole hashtag challenge accepted is. So without much ado, let me just add the Hi Diksha.
Hi Apurva, how are you?
I am good. I'm so sorry about this whole technical glitch. It's like, every time I put my head into something, it has to, like, something has to happen. Things can't be normal.
Don't worry about it. It has happened to me so many times in live sessions. I almost give up always. So don't worry about it. I'm totally okay
So
with that.
yeah, in the first live session, I had put the whole title where I had written like this proper everything, what this is about, and then I think probably that is gone. So since that is gone, and for
Yes.
people who may have just joined, I want you to sort of like tell us about, a little bit about what you think of this whole black and white selfie challenge, Diksha. Where is it coming from, and all of those things before we go on to talk about more critical aspects of it.
Yes, so I think to start with, when we started sending out these messages to women, we think, I can't read it out right now, but the message going to personally to other women, like for example, when I received the message that I'm selecting you as someone, who is a great woman who supports women. I think even that was great. I think it was a great idea to just be supporting other women, telling them, "Here, put up a picture and feel like a queen for one day." That was the first conversation. Ki challenge accepted. Let's put a black and white picture because I think it's very important for more and more women to be leading, to be decision makers, and I think that is the major issue that is there in Turkey. Even though it's like one of the world's top economic powers, you still have this problem going on. It's top 20 in the economy wise in the world, right? But it's still facing issues that are so discriminatory in terms of women, because the women leadership is missing there. So it's okay for us to be writing about women, putting up a picture that is ours, and saying that we are influencers, man, and we can make decisions. And if I feel like saying challenge accepted and giving my view on women, I will give it. So to answer this in two parts, even if it was not as technical as what we're talking about right now about Turkish women, I still think the idea of messaging 50 women you think who support women in this country and telling them to put up a picture was a great idea to start with. you know
Right.
that is what I think, and I saw people who made fun of it, or who think this is not how this is not what feminism means, or you're not really changing much by putting up a picture. I, on the other hand, think you make a difference. The reason that you picked up, you took out time to message 50 other women is a great start for supporting women.
Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, people who have been criticizing this, I think the criticism that is mainly coming is the fact that this isn't empowering anyone. But I mean, of course, it begs for a question: how much can one selfie or one image post with a hashtag that says women supporting? How much harm can that even cause? So that's the whole idea. I mean, even if you think, even if this is a criticism, which is actually the most part of the criticism that I've been looking at all over internet, is this: that you can't call this empowerment. This doesn't empower anyone. This doesn't. Yeah. So the question is, the amount of time that you invest in criticizing something, by saying that this may not necessarily be empowerment, which is maybe valid, but to sort of say, to sort of like not think how much harm can that cause, instead of thinking how much harm does a blatant sexism or misogyny can cause. I mean, I've never seen people criticize misogyny more than probably an imperfect feminism, if you can say.
Yes, and you used a very, very good word, imperfect feminism. I mean, it's
No,
a
I
very
hope it's
new
well, it's not mine.
it's a new concept altogether, right? Feminism, if we would have been fighting for it 100 years ago, then we wouldn't be where we are today, right? So we start with failures. We start with our tiny steps, which will probably lead to failure, which will probably be our first step. But that's what we say, right? Like, I mean, all the failures kind of lead to success. So imperfect feminism is the right term that you can call it. And I shamelessly talk about it. I shamelessly justify whatever I say on the internet about feminism. Because it's harmless. I mean, how much have we talked about it in the 100 years? We haven't. It's harmless. So, and what you were talking about, what difference it would make. Imagine it's making a difference, Apurva. 14.1 million and more probably posts about one hashtag of women in the
50
world.
million.
Okay, then 50 million. Maybe the last number I read was that. But that's a huge number for women representing women in the world. And that, I'm sorry, I would see it as a dent in the world, in the economy, to tell the world leaders that there are these powerful women who will represent other women in a very impactful manner. So time to wake up to this. You can't keep treating women badly because you think nobody will stand up for nobody. I just find it very shocking what's happening in Turkey, to be honest. Like, it's a place which has majority of people in upper middle class per se, right? It's a rich country. So that's where I start questioning ki really education and money and all of that, literacy, as we said, is it helping that much in terms of bringing women up in
And
this world?
how much that that sort of things that are, I mean, incidences that are happening in Turkey. Even let's just for once consider that maybe this is just a speculation. I mean, the whole relation between the black and white. Let's just, for once,
Yeah,
even if we consider that it is maybe a speculation, even then, what's happening in Turkey, we wouldn't have been aware of the situations over there had it not been for this challenge. So,
exactly.
more than anything, I believe that this has been able to create awareness. And then, not just awareness, but I believe when we look at something that's happening in some other country, it automatically helps us, at least me, it sends me into introspecting about the condition or the status quo of women in India as well.
Yes. The most powerful women in the world are posting about it. There's a reason, right? They have everything, right? Why did a message from another woman hit you so hard that you were pushed to put a picture immediately? You have all the money in the world, apparently, right? So I think, but I do think it's representative of what is happening in Turkey. It makes a lot of sense. If you are putting black and white pictures of women on newspapers, and they are getting strangled, and ex-boyfriend can be crazy and can treat you the way they do, and they have very, the kind of punishment they get is very, very lenient. So it's a problem. So I think it's a good representation of that. I mean, if I had to read the two news between Alexandria and Turkey, I would say that we are probably doing this for Turkey. We have, in fact, what happened with Alexandria, probably all of us have been through this, been called a bitch at our back, or by someone
And
who's
yeah. I mean, it's a thing to again introspect that when a powerful woman like Alexandria uh, is at the receiving end of such blatant sexism, then can we just think about other women?
exactly. I mean, I just feel like the fact that I was pushed to send a message, a heartwarming message to 50 women I know. Actually, I didn't even know I knew 50 women to who are great leaders, who I think are super empathetic. So when Shruti sent me that message, my first reaction to her message was, "Oh, this is great," and my second message to her was that I don't even know if I know 50 such women. And then I started sending those messages, and I realized I felt really lucky. So even if it wasn't 50, it was probably 30. And that's a huge number. That knowing that there are 30 other women that I know, that in the future, if I have to fight a cause for women, I know that there will be women who will be standing with me. And multiply that with other 50 million women and see, like, it's crazy, the number is crazy. So it's a very powerful thing that started, and I didn't question it even once.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you and me are today having a conversation about it in itself, can be taken as a testimony that, well, it is at least, making other people talk about it, which is, I think, the most important thing. So you can look
Exactly.
at it as, you can look at it as a conversation starter. You can look at it as, I don't know, as a performance art. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
you can look
yeah.
at it.
And the fact that we are saying, ki, okay, now other genders should stand up and talk about it. I honestly think us and trans women and all of the other communities that identify them as women uh, are enough to talk about ourselves. So we don't really need the men to be talking about for us. Is
I
what
mean,
I
of course,
feel actually.
yes, of course, we don't need, so to say, we don't need men to talk about it. But at the same time, I think the side is very important for them to talk about it as well, because it builds a sense of allyship. Because
Agreed.
women, of course, always they are always supporting women, are always supporting women. In most cases, yes, they are. And even if we have disagreements, it is on the professional level, or it is on
Agreed.
other, it's other spheres of life, not because we don't disagree, or I don't know, like, not like each other because we are,
No, no,
the other
I
person
completely
doesn't.
agree. I
Right.
completely agree. The men we surround ourselves with, the first thing that we look at in them is empathy for us, for our rights. Because a lot of times, like, a guy will be, conditioned to think a certain way, and he doesn't even realize that he's thinking in the wrong manner. So for me, it's very important that they actually even though their conditioning is different, they have this awareness that I'm going wrong somewhere because a woman is talking to me about this. So that kind of awareness is important. So yes, for awareness sake, and for them to think a bit, by stepping into our shoes, that's a good idea. I mean, why not?
Right. So I think it is very important for men because, usually what happens is that they think that I am not doing anything wrong. So,
Yeah.
I don't become, it's important to engage, participate, and become a stakeholder in this, because equality is universal, right?
Yeah.
It's become like it's segregated as a women issue or issue of non-binary people because they're the one who are denied it in most cases, which is
Yeah.
why it's seemingly it has become like a women's issue. But I think it is something that must have like everyone can be a stakeholder, and we need allyship from men, of course. So I think the challenge truly can be a challenge if men also participate. And what I
Yeah.
feel, Deeksha, one thing also that I was talking to my friends about this, and we sort of like were thinking that maybe not all women will be comfortable sharing their pictures, sharing their black and white images and writing the whole challenge thing. Maybe not, but at least with whatever is happening, at least with the hashtag and with the reason and context, it will again encourage them to educate themselves about the issue at hand, because that is
Yes.
what the landing page is eventually, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, you want
Yes.
people to understand and sort of read about what is happening. And this can be
Exactly.
taken as a, yeah, as a communication. I think social media is a best way to communicate, and a
For
bunch of
sure.
right. What do you think
Yeah.
about it, Diksha?
No, no, for sure. I think that even, I mean, to start with, it didn't have a call to action. We didn't have a swipe up to something. But for a conversation starter, it was great. Then now people are pushed to, read about stuff that actually happens to powerful women. On the one hand, like what is happening to AOC, Alexandria, right? Who's a political leader, right? On the other hand, by to everyday women in Turkey, which is a country which is, I mean, Turkey is a country where, there was, I think the gender equality rights were pretty solid. They had their it was the first country where a woman president was elected in the constitutional court. So
Okay.
I'm saying that it had all these developments, but it has gotten them nowhere, right? I mean, with gender equality still is not. So till lots of millions of women talk about this stuff in the world, I don't think it's going to change. जो भी economic development हो जाए, किसी की भी country में हो जाए, but till it's a majority saying कि we're not going to take this now, you then it makes a difference. I think it's harmless and it's much needed.
Right. Okay. And also, well, there have also been some real criticism around it as well, which I think should also be taken into consideration. Diksha, is that uh, you know, uh, again, a challenge like this, of course, can have its own. I mean, of course, if there are, say, 99 pros to it, there could be one con, and I think it is also important to address
Yeah.
that. So, do you think that when women post an image like this with the hashtag and everything, do you think that kind of gratifies us that we have done something? I mean, our bit is done and it's over, and then we drop it there. We just drop it, even if we know that,
Ha.
well,
Ha.
this is an issue, this has been happening in Turkey, and all of this is there. But once we post it, do you think this false sense of gratification dawns on us that I have done my bit, like I have done it, so I don't
Well,
need to do anything else?
वेरी राइट, वेरी राइट। अभी मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलने की कोशिश करूंगी बिकॉज मैंने बहुत बार कमेंट्स में पढ़ा। बट एक्चुअली मालिनी ने एक चीज बहुत अच्छी लिखी, राइट, कि अभी लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, हम लोग बाहर निकल नहीं पा रहे हैं घर से, जो हम अपनी तरफ से कर सकते हैं हम कर रहे हैं। तो अगर हमें बोला कि विमेन के लिए अभी हम घर से पिक्चर लगा के वी कैन टॉक अबाउट चैलेंज एक्सेप्टेड and spread the word, it's fine. See, point is, there will be 1,000 women who will post this, but even if 50 women read this and get inspired to do something and support other women, it's a win. I see it as a win. So I mean, I can't believe that considering there are women leaders who have proved during the pandemic कि women leaders, political leaders in this world is so important. मतलब उनसे better ये pandemic कोई handle नहीं कर पाता. Why? क्योंकि empathy है, वो लोग सबके बारे में सोचते हैं, वो majority of the audience को लेके चलेंगे, उनको घर चलाना आता है, उन्हें घर चलाते चलाते वो काम कर पाते हैं, मल्टीटास्कर्स होते हैं. तो so you know like ये तो प्रूव हो चुका है कि women leaders are important right in this world. तो अगर 1000 लोग सिर्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लिए पोस्ट कर दें और उसमें से 50 विमेन हैं जो जो ऐसी हैं जो बहुत ही उनका पर्सनालिटी ही है कि वो इंस्पायर हो जाते हैं, वो थोड़ा इम्प्रेशनेबल है, उनका भी थोड़ा माइंडसेट चेंज आए ना कि यार दिस इज ग्रेट थिंग. मतलब आई हैवंट थॉट अबाउट फेमिनिज्म like this before. It's a win for us. So yes, of course, there's always collateral damage, right? Like we talk about feminism, में भी collateral damage होता है. Women को दिमाग में रखते रखते जो policies बनती हैं उसमें भी collateral damage होता है. But होएगा ही. You have lived in a male-dominated society for so long, and now to change that and even to come at par, we need more than at par. तो हमें ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा कि हम कुछ सालों में यहाँ पहुंच पाए, बहुत साल लगेंगे उसके लिए. तो we should be ready for the collateral damage because that's how this world works, right? कि अभी reservation क्यों होते हैं, उसी की वजह से होते हैं.
So I read like a couple of comments that says internet ने बस power दे दिया है लोगों को post करने का, this is not real feminism and this and that. So what do you think? I mean, if you ask me, Diksha, तो मुझे तो यही लगता है कि I think हर era का feminism अपनी अपनी तरह से होता है, हर era के problems अलग होते हैं और उसका treatment भी अलग होता है. Like you know, the treatment of feminism can be different in different eras. Like you can't go back to the age of Virginia Woolf and do the exact same things. Although it applies a lot. I mean, it is definitely very relevant in today's time as well. But
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. किसी ने अभी लिखा कि एनीथिंग व्हिच इज एक्सट्रीम इज नॉट गुड. करेक्ट.
ये मुझे लगता है एक फोटो पोस्ट करना एक्सट्रीम कहाँ से हो गया.
वो एनीथिंग एक्सट्रीम इज नॉट गुड, करेक्ट, बट है भी कुछ एक्सट्रीम. Like I will say कि bra burning feminism, I'm not a supporter of that, right? But let's define bra burning feminism first, right?
Sorry, what is that? What is it, Diksha? Come again.
I'm saying bra burning feminism, I'm not supportive of that. But a lot of people just think that feminism is bra burning feminism. So let's first define.
Yeah.
हाँ, आई थिंक दैट तो लोग बहुत ही जल्दी जंप करके अगर उन्हें कभी भी लगता है ना कि देयर इज अ वुमन लाइक ऐसा मेरे साथ होता था. जैसे ही मैं बॉम्बे शिफ्ट हुई थी तो लोगों को मेरी शक्ल, बिकॉज आई यूज्ड टू राइट अ लॉट अबाउट वुमेन, ठीक है, वो नेचुरली आता था. इट वाजंट लाइक आई वाज अ सेल्फ प्रोक्लेम्ड फेमिनिस्ट. ऐसा ही था कि मेरे को लिखने को आता था तो मैं लिख देती थी. वट एवर आई यूज्ड टू फील आई यूज्ड टू राइट. So but from the face of it and from my writing, people just started tagging me कि अब तुम feminism वाली बातें मत करने लगना कोई conversation में, okay? You're a bra burning feminist. And I would be like, that makes zero sense. There is no place that, yes, I have seen people who suddenly start talking, start fighting on everything you say about women. You don't say that. And in that moment, it's very fair for you as a woman to realize कि यार ये गलत है, ठीक है, I agree, this was wrong and right. So if as a feminist you're able to differentiate between this is what a woman did, that was wrong, and this is right, gender equality के लिए fight करो, bra burning feminism के लिए fight मत करो, right? So I would say feminist, a good feminist or a true feminist is someone who fights for gender equality at every point. You know, and can live up to that. कि मतलब कि I go out on a date with a guy and I don't expect him to pay for me because we couldn't go touch, right? But ये conditioning हमारी थी बचपन से कि the guy should pay, right? So let's change that. You know, so be fair is what I'm saying. Let's not be unfair. हाँ, या तो अगर ऐसा है कि the guy is richer than you, then it's fine. कि define it. यार भाई तुम पे करना, इस बार हम पे कर देंगे next time when I have the money. That's also fine, but don't expect it, is what I'm saying. So that is what bra burning feminism is. But it's not. I'm against it. This is fair feminism. But I forgot the question that you had about. ये तो हम bra burning feminism पे बात करने लग गए. फिर मैं भूल गई दूसरा question. अब तुम बताओ what you were saying.
But I think it is still relevant. I mean, we should have a conversation about brow burning as well. And I mean, if
Yeah.
some people feel that, so I think brow burning का जो ये concept maybe यहाँ से
They
आया
think
कि
aggressive हो तुम. They think तुम बहुत aggressive हो. तुम पागल हो जाते हो when gender की बात आती है.
aggressive. I had lost you for a few seconds. Are you saying
हाँ, I'm
aggressive?
saying कि अगर फेमिनिज्म आता है तो उसमें उसके साथ कॉनोटेशन ये होता है कि तुम अग्रेसिव हो अबाउट दिस टॉपिक, सो डोंट
I
स्टार्ट
feel,
नाउ टाइप.
I feel,
हाँ.
I kind of feel that it's justified, like because I mean, aggression and anger is. I think it's probably just natural when you just look at some blatant sexism being passed off as normal. Like this is normal. ऐसा ही होता है. Then I think you kind of tend to lose your cool, and you can't even
Yes,
blame those people. Like
that
sometimes
is
I lost
possible.
my
Yes.
cool on my own family. I'm like, क्या मम्मी क्या बोल रही हो तुम, ये गलत है. My mom will be like, you don't love me as a mother. I'm like, no, I do love you, but you're wrong. This is not right. This is not the way it is done. Like it's not
See,
equality.
that is great. So that is good feminism. Like you're telling your mom यार कि ये गलत है ना, मतलब you're telling, and that is something most of us are not able to do. We don't call out our friends when they say something, क्योंकि वो naturally आता है कभी लड़कियों वाली बात, कि तुम लड़कियों जैसे मत रो, for example, right? And we don't call that out. That's why our friends keep thinking ki she's fine with it. No, I'm not, right? I'm not. I mean, I don't cry all the time. Guys also cry. I feel bad for guys also there. Ki they can't cry because it's not supposed to be a man thing. There I feel bad. I mean, they should be able to cry. If they are,
Right.
then they are. So they are questioned. But coming back to what you were saying, कि internet लोग use कर रहे हैं free में, whatever you said, right? कि someone said. बहुत सालों से, सेंचुरी से. इनफैक्ट आई रिमेम्बर व्हेन आई वाज इन माय मास्टर्स 2012 या 2013 में, आई हैड सीन अ मूवी called Angel of Jewels. I don't remember. I'll actually send you that movie link. वो बहुत मतलब black and white movie है, where they have shown a protest started by women talking about it was a women's movement and it made a huge difference. And of course, we know in history protests have changed a lot of things, and that's the reason why we continue, क्योंकि हमारे पास proof of concept है मतलब. So yes, you're very right कि every phase अब technology है तो we are using technology to spread the word. That's it.
Yeah, as long as it is being used for the constructive basis. You know what appalls me? Um, what really appalls me, Diksha, is that there is so much fake news, miscommunication, violence that are propagated on internet, but people are offended by selfies.
That's
that
what.
that hurts me. That hurts me. Even if you don't believe in feminism, how
Yeah.
can you so actively invest your energy hating on women because they've posted a selfie with just two hashtags, and you're calling it extreme? It is extreme. How can
So
pictures be extreme? That is my question.
so
They're
see, this is
calling
the
you mad
problem.
feminazis for mad. You're literally a mad feminazi for posting a picture,
Yeah.
swiping a black and white filter, and writing nice things about
See,
other women. That
see
is exactly
that's
what.
the see that's the problem, right? Like, एक तो if you're a woman and you have a very strong voice, तो ये भी problem है यार, तुम्हारी शादी नहीं हो सकती, things like that, कि तुम्हारा बहुत you have strong opinions. That's a problem. So, but actually, other people don't affect me as much as other women thinking कि this is stupid, because
Okay,
हमारी
speaking of
लड़ाई है ये.
that,
We are a
yeah,
team.
that thing, this whole Turkey thing, actually, that what you were talking about, that brings me to a question actually. uh, जैसे अगर हम कंपेयर करें, ऑफ कोर्स whatever is happening in Turkey, उसके वजह से भी काफी लोग वो एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट बना करके लोग पोस्ट कर रहे हैं और लिख रहे हैं और कंटेक्चुअलाइज कर रहे हैं कि टर्की में ऐसी ऐसी चीजें हुई हैं.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it is because the government is diluting laws that support liberation of women. उनके freedom को contain कर रहे हैं और curtail कर रहे हैं कि वो ऐसे नहीं. और अगर मतलब if women are going out of their way, quote unquote, probably just wearing what they want to wear, they are actually being killed. So these are judicial killings that's been
Yes,
happening. Judicial
yes,
killings तो इंडिया में भी काफी honor killings होती हैं हमारे पास. There is like a whole data of honor killings in India. But then one can argue that a lot of men's rights activists, men's rights activists, um, So they argue that इंडिया के जो laws हैं वो वो that is biased towards women. मतलब जैसे जैसे मैरिज लॉज वगैरह है वो
Yeah.
वुमेन की तरफ ज्यादा बायस्ड है, वो
Hmm.
उनको मतलब वो कर सकती हैं, मतलब लाइक दे कैन
Use it
just falsely, yeah,
or
just
exploit it.
false allegation, dowry charges, and these are like crimes that are unpardonable, and that has ruined the life of a lot of men as well. So I think
True.
this is also something that must be addressed. That while in Turkey, the protest, whatever digital protest you can say, is happening because the laws are being diluted, while in India, laws support women. Despite that, India में honor killings होती है. How do you see this whole thing?
नहीं, that is true. And I think actually हम लोग अपनी तरफ से चीजें कर रहे हैं वैसे in this country, and I feel like बहुत बार जब भी ये conversation चलती है ना कि ये तो तुम अभी पुलिस स्टेशन जाओगे तो तुम मतलब women के against करोगे तो भाई she'll obviously win. एंड दिस इज अ ग्रेट थिंग इन इंडिया एक्चुअली आई फील कि हम लोग जो हमने थोड़ी पॉलिसीज चेंज की टुवर्ड्स फॉर women एंड मेड इट so to say biased towards women, it's needed. मतलब without it because ये हमने देख लिया है कि the number of cases that happen, rapes, molestation, domestic violence. So keeping all of this in mind, we know कि मतलब there have been many more cases against men coming from women, and a lot of time women are scared to put these cases कि हम लोग फंस जाएंगे, कुछ होगा ही नहीं. So that is so we do have actually laws in place that and that against what Turkey doesn't have it right now. They have very lenient punishments, and that's an issue. I think that's the only issue I would say. कि एक तो women participation in leadership, in employment, in the economy is very less. That's one issue. एंड सेकंड इज कि अगर तुमने women के अगेंस्ट कुछ किया भी तो उसका punishment is very lenient. And that is something I think as a country in India, yes, we have seen कि मतलब कुछ punishment हमने बोला है कि जल्दी हो, and it hasn't happened like in Nirbhaya's case. But at least those criminals have been in jail forever, right? And that's not the case in Turkey either. So I think having more like stricter punishments, which really shame the men, because I'm guessing that many of these male men are authorities in power. They are rich men with an ego. You have to hurt it to in Turkey to get them back to the ground and say, this is not how you treat women, and that is why women around the world should fight for them. Because I'll tell you this, I found it very interesting when I went to Vietnam, and one of the major reasons how Vietnam got some freedom from America, or soldiers were retracted from that country, was because the whole world started doing protests for Vietnamese people.
Absolutely.
So we have to. I mean, because we can't take to the streets right now, does not mean that we cannot fight. And let's fight it on the internet if that's what it takes during the lockdown, during a pandemic. But it makes changes, because if other countries start scaring the, start threatening, so to say, the Turkey's government, basically, then they will make changes. They will have to. And
Right.
especially because more powerful women are saying, yeah, matlab, Paris Hilton is saying, everyone is saying. I mean, I don't know any actress or any, political leader who's not Hilton. I don't know whose post I saw, but literally every woman, every influential woman has posted about it. I mean,
Right.
come on, American women are, so I think we'll get something. वर्ल्ड पार से आ रहा है सारा क्या बोलते हैं सपोर्ट.
राइट, बट इट्स ऑल्सो आई थिंक एक तरह से ये कह सकते हैं कि इम्पैथी प्रोपोगेट हो गई हर जगह. तो एक तरह से इम्पैथी इज व्हाट इज ट्रैवलिंग. सबको लगता है कि उसकी स्टोरी है, लाइक दे फाइंड रेलेवेंस इन दिस, which is why they are posting about it, right? It doesn't matter how well informed they are about this whole situation, but the fact that they want to step up and support other women is again,
Exactly.
it's a testimony that
without
probably
without questioning it. I don't see
without.
the point of the question. I mean,
Yeah.
what did the message say, Apurva? The message said, "Ki you are a woman I support. I think I've chosen this list carefully because I think you're a woman who supports women. So if
Yeah.
you are that person, just send this message to 50 other women you can pick, and put a black and white picture of yourself with a hashtag challenge accepted." It's a
Right.
harmless message and it's such a sweet message. I felt special when I got that message from people, right? And that is such a good feeling. And if for a moment every woman in this world was made to feel special, I think that's a great win. Even if we were fighting for nothing else, actually. For a very long time, it has been the opposite. We have been just fighting, yeah, for everything: education, rights, employment, seat for in politics. I mean, why are we fighting all the time? Just take a
I
moment
think
and feel happy.
yeah, yeah, of course. I think in the middle of chaos, it's good to take a moment and sort of like be happy. But sometimes again, especially now that feminist politics and feminist laws are in place, काफी लोग ऐसे dismiss करने को भी आपको बोलेंगे that you should chill and you should not be so angry. So I think this negative piece is not an answer. This whole negative piece scenario only benefits the oppressors. And again, I say oppressors because that can be gender neutral. There are so many women who are patriarchs, and there I have so many male friends who are amazing feminists, and they are still masculine, because a lot of people think the men who are feminists, they lose their masculinity for some reason. So,
Yeah.
of course, that is not the case. So, I think while it is important, just to wrap this up, Diksha, what I feel is that, while it is important, to critique anything, and it's always healthy to critique any kind of trend or any kind of movement that goes around. And I think it is
Yeah.
still okay if you want to critique this whole thing, that is fine. But what I also think is that it's not probably all that right to shame women simply because they are putting out pictures. So that just uh, that just I think questions your intellectual capital and your
Yeah.
I had lost you for a
Yeah. I
second.
mean,
So I was saying that. Yeah, so I was
yeah.
saying that judging women simply because they're posting their photos, it's a question on your own intellectual capital. Like you should come up with something more challenging.
Exactly. Like I have sent the message to some women and they have not posted it and they actually laughed it out. And I felt like didn't really reply, but I didn't understand the point. Like, why am I laughing about it, right? I mean, it's not like you don't know that we need representation. We do. We need representation everywhere and powerful representation. And I'm so happy about this campaign, man. Like, I didn't expect the kind of response, the kind of response we've seen in 2 days. It has just been 2, 3 days, man. I mean, imagine 50 million. Is this a joke? It makes me really, really happy. And I feel like we should talk about it more. And, say a sentence or two about women every now and then, so that people can realize that this is the need of the hour and why not? They are good leaders. So let's just empower them.
Right. So to wrap this up, Diksha, do you want to say something to the logical Indian community?
Yes. I want to say every one of you who's put
Losing
a
you.
picture, black and white picture of yourself, say challenge accepted, hashtag challenge accepted, say anything about women, say anything, like say why you should support, or just say it's challenge accepted. No, nothing, no sentence with it. But you also take a moment, man, to put a black and white picture. You can be a male, you can be any gender, and just talk about women because that's okay. Maybe write about any woman in the world who you think is super inspiring, and that's okay. Or you can put a picture of your favorite woman in the world. It could be a mom, it could be a sister, it could be your girlfriend. So do it. Why not? I mean, let's take this moment. It's gone viral. Let's just go with the tide.
Right. So I think even if people are not willing to put out their picture, it is a good idea. It's a challenge that one can take to actually go on the internet and investigate about things that are happening in Turkey and things that are happening around. I think that is also a challenge that you can give to yourself. That well, maybe I don't want to put out a picture, but I can just go and find out, educate myself about things that are happening around the world with women and try to be more empathetic. Probably that is also one way you can take up this
Very
challenge.
true.
And
Very,
be
very, very true. To read about Alexandria, man. She's a very, very cool woman. I started following her just a year ago, and she's super inspiring. So read about her. Read about Turkey. Actually, try to figure
read
why
about
Turkey
India.
is.
Read about India more than
Yeah,
anything. Like what are the
but
laws and engage. I
yeah,
think the whole point, Diksha, is just like I've been saying that I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm just going on talking. But then I really want to say this one thing is that it is very important, no matter what, to engage in any way possible, even if it is
yeah,
it is a criticism. It's important to not dismiss and engage, learn more
yes.
about it, and engage in the form of art, in the form of argument, article, post, anything. I think that only does
Yeah.
service to this universal idea of equality.
Yeah, let's fill Instagram with black and white photos. That will be fun. That'll be fun. Like just to see just black and white. So please do, please do. I mean, I think reading about all this, Apurva, you're super, super right. That just the fact that someone may have seen a black and white picture of a woman reading challenge accepted will probably push them to read about what has happened and what happens to women in the world. Very, very important. Very important case study is Turkey because it's so economically powerful, but still so backward with gender equality. Why? Why is that? So yeah, I mean it's a great conversation to engage in. Thank you so
Right.
much for having me on this show.
Thank you so much, Diksha, for joining the Logical Indian. I hope that we will see each other more often on live like this. It is always so good to talk to you. It's always so great to see
Same,
your
same.
stories. And again, I would request everyone who's watching, go follow Diksha Dwivedi. Diksha, what's your handle? You can say. I mean, I totally
Yes.
endorse all the vibe that you are, and I think I said that before as well. So yes.
Thank you so much. It's really sweet whatever you keep posting. Really sweet. The fact that you dedicated your black and white photo to me is means a lot to me.
Thank you so much, Diksha. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.